Hello hockey fans and welcome to Inside the WCHA. I'm Ryan Phelps. Find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And as we head into the playoffs, be sure to check out WCHA.tv, where you've got the best seat in the house. The regular season is all wrapped up with the 4 postseason series all set in the WCHA playoff bracket. And once you know it, the 2 teams with the most to lose met up in the last weekend of the season.
Just 4 points separating numbers 6 through 9. Good news, but Lake Superior State was that number 9 team, and on the road facing number 8 Ferris State. Bulldogs 1 point ahead of the Lakers into the weekend and not messing around on their home ice. The ice isn't even dry yet, and Corey Mackin busts around the defender and slides one past Nick Kossoff, and 45 seconds in, Ferris State's up 1-0. Same score early second. And it's Mack back on the attack. He's camped out front. Mitch Maloney grinding along the wall. Tries to center but hits the net. Second attempt is on the tape. And Mackin with the smack in for his second of the night, 10th of the year. Dogs were hungry for more. Late second, great hustle play by Cameron Clark to hold the zone. Fires it from the dot, and it's Zach Zahner with the deflection, his first of the year. And Ferris State locks up at least the number 8 spot with the 4-1 win Friday. Now to try to move up a few spots in the close race for 6th. Ferris State feeling loose on Saturday. Senior night selfie with Andrew Mayer. Lake State needed a win and some help, but Colin Sackerman had a jump in his step. Scoreless early first, Lakers on the attack. Brian Basilico at the half wall has Sackerman streaking in. He buries it, and Lake Superior State has their first lead of the weekend. It would last nearly 20 minutes until Cole Norris ties it at 1. We pick it up there midway through the third. Bulldogs with a 2-on-3. The defensemen all converge on Trevor Rechtenwald. They leave Norris wide open in front. The pass gets through, and Norris nets his second of the night for a 2-1 lead. Mitch Maloney would score not 1, but 2 empty net goals, and Ferris State wins 4-2. They get the crucial 6 points in the home sweep to move up in the standings. But how far would they go? They entered the weekend 2 points behind both Alabama Huntsville and Alaska. Fairbanks at home taking on bitter rival but last place Alaska Anchorage. Nanooks sitting in 6th and in control of their own destiny. But it's the Seawolves that strike first. Defense leads to offense. A 3-on-1. Austin Azurdia says, "I've got this." Blows past the defender and beats Anton Martinson 5-hole for the 1-0 lead. Nicholas Erb home would add another less than 2 minutes later, and Anchorage is cruising and on the power play, up 2-0 late first. Azurdia skating laps in the zone, looking for a lane. He spots Jarrett Brown below the dots. The one-timer makes it 3-0 Seawolves. They score the game's first 4 goals on 6 shots, including this Alec Butcher wraparound to chase Martinson from the net. They win 5-3 to take Game 1 in the in-state series. Alaska now with their backs against the wall heading into Saturday. They knew they would make the playoffs with the Laker loss earlier that night. Music to their ears. But it was a similar start for the Seawolves. Deep in the zone, Erb home strolls out of the corner, slips it through everyone with a no-look shot, and again, Anchorage leads 1-0. 20 seconds later, and they're at it again. Dump it in deep. Puck comes to Azurdia from a sharp angle, and he sneaks it in. They score on their first 2 shots, and Martinson is pulled for the second straight night. Still 2-0 midway through the second, more Seawolves. They've got Alaska scrambling in their own end. It's Tanner Johnson from the point. Puck gets tipped along the way, and it's 3-0. Nanooks would get 2 back on a pair by Zach Fry, but they fall 3-2, and they fall in the standings behind Ferris State. The other key player in that race is Alabama Huntsville. They hosted number 3 Bowling Green the final weekend. The Falcons nipping at the heels of number 2 Northern Michigan. This one scoreless through 1. Early second, Chargers on offense. Behind the net, Ryan Bednard traps it on the Asher, but now he's stuck. They dig it free, and Max McHugh beats him back to the cage. That's his second of the year, and UAH is up 1-0. Mitchell McLean would tie it up at the midway point, so 1-1 late second. Bowling Green on the power play. Stephen Bayless working the perimeter with Alec Rawhauser. We haven't heard his name in a while, but he gets it done here. His 8th of the year and first since December 28th. Falcons up 2-1. Josh Kessner would even it up in the third, tied at 2 with less than 2 minutes to play. Cody Champagne with a long shot from the point, and Austin Ballou gets a piece of it for a 3-2 lead, and that's your final. Chargers know they're in and move 3 points in front of Alaska. They would need at least 2 more on Saturday to stay in front of Ferris State. They get going early. Offensive zone face-off win. Chris Polkamp with a shot from the point. The tip by Connor Ford, and the Falcons are up 1. 5 minutes later, Bowling Green dumps it in deep. Bayless gets dumped on the ice. Cameron Wright scoops it up. Centers for Brent DeAndrea, who finishes, and it's 2-0. Early second, Falcons on the power play. Rawhauser to Brandon Cruz. He's got McLean posted up down low, and he finishes. 3-0. Bowling Green gets the 3 points on the weekend to try to keep pace with Northern Michigan. UAH falls behind Ferris State to finish 7th. The Wildcats had a home-and-home with Michigan Tech and needing 6 points to try to hold off the Falcons and to catch number 1 Minnesota State. Friday night we're in Marquette, and the barn is packed for these UP rivals. This one scoreless into the second, and it's Tech on the rush. They work the weave wonderfully. Alex Smith drops it back to Brent Baltus, who buries it. And the Huskies, in the hostile environment, take a 1-0 lead. A few minutes later, it's the Wildcats on the move. Sometimes you just get the bounces. Ryan Black is swallowed up by the Tech defense, but it goes right to Robbie Payne, and he bangs home his 20th of the year to tie it at 1. Same score early third. Payne blasts one towards the net. It goes to Darian Craighead, who settles it with a skate and drives it home for the GW. 2-1 the final, and Northern Michigan gets it done in Game 1 on home ice. On Saturday, we head to Houghton, but it was the Cats looking comfy. Midway through the first on the power play, Phil Ballou over to Troy Loggins. He sends a bomb for his 17th of the year. Devin Caro never even saw it. 1-0 NMU. They'd score another PPG later in the first. Tech gets one of their own, and they trail 2-1 at the midway point. Another power play. Jake Lucchini takes it from the top of the circle, walks in, and fires it past Ate Tolvanen to tie it up at 2. 5 minutes later, and another Tech power play. Mark Ock working the line with Seamus Donahue. He drives it toward the net, and Justin Misiak gets a piece of it for a 3-2 lead, and that's your final. All 5 goals scored on the power play as they split the home and home. The Huskies firmly in 5th heading into the weekend, so they won't move in the standings, but Northern Michigan able to stay in front of Bowling Green, but maybe not enough to catch Minnesota State. Spoiler alert, the Mavericks take the coveted McNaughton Cup as regular season champs. Strike up the band. That's WCHA scoring leader CJ Cease getting ready for Bemidji State. Scoreless in the first, a loose puck at neutral turns into a 2-on-1. Kyle Bauman with Jay Dickman, and the wicked wrister makes it 1-0. Dickman's been quiet as of late. That's his first in a month. Same score in the second. Mavericks use the banana peel trick. Whoop! That leads to a 3-on-1. Zeb Knutson over to Mark Michaelis, and he zips it by Bitzer to tie it up at 1. Knutson right behind Cease for the league scoring lead with his 38 points. Still tied late second, MSU power play. Ian Scheid does a great job holding the line. Reggie Lutz with the shot, the rebound bouncing around and in. Dallas Gerads gets the game winner, 2-1 the final, and McNaughton goes to Mankato. Our friend League Commissioner Bill Robertson hands over the hardware for the 3rd time in the last 4 seasons. Mavericks lock up the number 1 seed in the playoffs, and Bemidji State had already sealed up number 4 before the weekend started, so they're playing for pride on Saturday. Zach Whitecloud and Adam Brady each scored for the Beavers, Cease and Michaelis for Minnesota State. This one ends in a 2-2 tie and went to a shootout. Leo Fitzgerald finally scores in round 5 against Connor Lecuvier, and Michael Bitzer seals it with a save on Brad McClure. So here are the first-round matchups for the WCHA playoffs. Number 1, Minnesota State will host Alaska. Alabama Huntsville at Northern Michigan. Ferris State jumps up 2 spots to take the 6th seed. They head to Bowling Green. And the 4-5 pits Michigan Tech and Bemidji State. And of course, no show would be complete without our weekly awards. The Offensive Player of the Week is Mitch Maloney from Ferris State. He made the most of his final regular season home games, tying for the WCHA lead with 4 points and helping Ferris State clinch its 21st consecutive postseason appearance with a sweep of Lake Superior State. The senior tallied 2 goals and 2 assists, had a pair of multi-point efforts, and ranked 2nd in the WCHA with a +5 rating. Our defensive player of the week is Zach Fry from Alaska. Despite dropping a pair of games to Anchorage, the senior collected 2 goals and 2 assists to tie for a league-best 4-point weekend. He led WCHA defensemen in scoring and tied for second amongst all NCAA Blue Liners, while collecting a league-best 13 shots on goal. Our goaltender of the week is Olivier Mantha, who wrapped up his illustrious career in style, backstopping Alaska Anchorage to a sweep at rival Alaska with a WCHA best 76 saves, which was the second most nationally. Mantha, also a senior, finished the weekend with a .938 save percentage while making double-digit stops in 5 of the 6 periods. And our Rookie of the Week, Cole Norris from Ferris State. He led all WCHA rookies with 3 goals, which tied him for the second most nationally. He had 3 points and a +3 rating with his empty net goal on Friday night and 2 on Saturday in the series sweep.
That'll do it. It's playoff time. The first 2 rounds are both best-of-3 series, followed by a single-game championship on March 17th, with home ice going to the top remaining seed. And you can catch all the action at WCHA.tv, where they come to play, we come to watch. Stream any game on any device. Thanks again for joining us. We'll be back next week to break down round 1. And until then, I'm Ryan Phelps saying so long from St. Paul.